Hey guys, so I've just spent the past like 4 days in the hospital. I posted on my Instagram story, hey, I'm going home. Would you guys want to see a video of me just talking about what's been going on and why I was in the hospital and all that stuff? And most people said yes, so that's what I'm doing. Hey, so I just want to put a little disclaimer. This video is a bit like TMI, so if talk about infections and like bladder and like medical stuff in general kind of like freaks you out, you may want to skip this one. I'm comfortable talking about this kind of stuff because I'm just used to this stuff, and I think it is nice for people that do deal with these type of things often to see people that can relate to them. That's this little disclaimer for this video. So I guess I'm gonna just start from the beginning of where this all started, which was Disney. Oh, and Disney was totally worth it, even though I have to deal with all this crap now. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Also, I hope you don't mind. I'm just laying down in my bed. Like, I can't even sit right now because I'm so uncomfortable and having pain. In the video with Nico, I was talking about how I had a UTI the last day or two of my trip. And so we got back from vacation. I don't know how long after the vacation that I called the first time. So usually they will just call into the office and say, hey, you're gonna get a urine culture, send it to our labs to be tested. So they did that. I don't even know what I'm doing right now. We give the urine culture, they let us know that there definitely is something growing, and we're like, okay, well, we knew that. So we were waiting back to hear what like type of bacteria was growing and like the sensitivities, so like what antibiotic I was gonna use and all that. I didn't hear back for a while, and then it was like getting to the weekend. I called Friday, or I think I called Thursday or Wednesday, I don't even know. But I was calling saying, hey, what's going on? And they're like, oh, they're not back yet. So then Friday, there was like a conference going on, so it wasn't like the normal doctors that were in, it was an on-call doctor. The on-call doctor called and told us what bacterias were in there, and there were 4 bacterias, and one of them was E. coli, which is like a common bacteria in UTIs. One was Klebsiella, which I've had before, and then one was Enterococcus or something like that, and then Proteus, which those two were like weirder for me. And we're like, what? Never heard of those. So he's like, okay, well, I'll put you on this antibiotic just for the weekend so you have something, and we'll wait for the sensitivities to come back. So all weekend I was taking it and I wasn't getting any better. So Monday I'm like, hey, it's not working. But it was a holiday, so it was the same on-call doctor, and he's like, oh no, just give him more time. I'm like, okay, whatever. All my symptoms were still there, like I wasn't getting any better. And then Tuesday night I started having a side pain, kind of where my kidney is, and I've had kidney pain before, and so I know what it feels like, and that's what it felt like. But I'm like, okay, it's the middle of the night, like I'll just go to bed and deal with it tomorrow. So the next morning it was gone, so I was like, oh, okay, maybe I just like pulled a weird muscle and it just felt the same. I don't know. And I call again to say, I really still don't feel good. This isn't the right antibiotic. I just know it. Again, they're like, well, according to the sensitivities, they're back and this antibiotic should work for 2 of them. And I'm like, but there's 4. And they're like, well, one of them grows on skin. So they thought it was like cross-contamination or something like that. And so that bacteria wasn't actually in my pee, which I was like kind of confused about. And I was like, but I don't want to like seem like I'm complaining about the urology department that I go to, because I love the nurses, the doctor that I see. Like, they're all super nice and have been super helpful to me in the past. It just irks me when they don't quite listen to me. So I kept saying like, it's not right, it's not right. And they're like, just give it more time. And then they're like, okay, well, Friday morning's your last dose. Take the last dose, and if Friday you still feel sick, then call us. And I was like, okay, whatever. Well, then that night, Wednesday night, I started having kidney pain again. And this time it didn't go away. So Thursday I'm like, well, I'll give it another day. And it didn't go away or get any better. So then Friday morning, I woke up in really bad pain. And like, I've had like kidney infections, and there's been times that I had a kidney infection for so long that I then got abscesses on my kidneys, and that was super painful, and that was a few years ago. But usually it's my left kidney, and this time it was my right kidney, so I was like a little bit more concerned because my right kidney is like my good kidney. I tell my mom, I'm like, I have to go in, and she's like, okay, let's get you showered and all that kind of stuff. And after I was showered and all, I called the urology department to like see what they would say, but nobody answered. It just went to the voicemail. So I left a voicemail, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to the hospital, like the ER. I can't wait any longer like this. So we got to the ER around like 11 o'clock, and they took me in. It was like a super empty ER, and they did a ultrasound, then they did a CAT scan, and they also took another urine culture. But on the ultrasound and CAT scan, they didn't see anything. And so they're like, but obviously there's something going on. So within the time that like I was getting all those tests done, the urine culture came back saying there was something growing, but they didn't know what it was yet or the sensitivities. So they're like, well, we'll keep you overnight and put you on an IV antibiotic and try and get your like pain under control. And then Saturday comes along, and turns out there was a whole new bacteria in my pee. So a fifth one. They think this one was in my pee the first time, but it just was covered by the 4 other bacterias, and so they missed it. So they were still waiting for the sensitivities to come back for that, to see like what antibiotic I should go on. So we're like, okay, cool, great. So they just gave me another dose of the IV antibiotic because it was just a once a day thing. And so we stayed another night. This new bacteria was like, started with an M. I can't remember what it was called. Like Magnolia. Not Magnolia. I don't know. It's Morganella. Okay. It was a weird one, and apparently it's a hard one to kill. Or to treat. Saturday night, we got the sensitivities back, and it said that there's only one oral antibiotic that they tested that would work. But in the past with this antibiotic, I had a weird reaction to it where like it can affect your like ligaments, and I literally just transferred from my wheelchair to my bed, and I like hurt some ligament in my like hip or pelvic area, and I started having really bad pain for like a week, and that happened twice when I was on this antibiotic, like on 2 separate occasions. And so sorry, my brain is like fried. I'm tired and in pain and on meds. So this is the one antibiotic that'll work. Or the other option is to stay in the hospital for like a week or even longer to take IV antibiotic to kill this bacteria. I got a kidney infection. It just hadn't gotten so bad to the point that like it changed the way the kidney looks, and that's why nothing showed up on any of the like scans. So they're like, well, we'll give you this IV antibiotic that we've been giving you because my pain was getting better. Like I was having burning pain in my bladder, and that was going away. So they're like, well, it's helping something, so let's just leave it. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. So then we slept there another night, and then Sunday was when they came in, and they're like, so there actually is another bacteria in your bladder, and it was one from the first culture that they did that just never got treated. So they're like, we're testing different antibiotics to kill both of these bacteria that you have. And they ended up finding a different oral antibiotic besides the one that I had a weird reaction to. So they're like, great, we found you an oral one, so we can send you home on that. But now we have to focus on your pain, because this whole time I didn't want to take opioids just because I don't like the way they make you feel. I feel like sometimes with doctors, not necessarily any of the ones I saw, because they were all saying like, Maddie, we have like oxy for you if you're in pain, but we also like get why you don't want to take it, but just know it is an option if your pain does get that bad. Doctors sometimes kind of treat me like I'm just looking for drugs, and so I'm like, I don't want it to seem like that's what I'm looking for, because it's not. I want you to fix what's wrong with me. I was like refusing the oxy for a while, and I was getting IV Toradol, which is basically just an IV version of ibuprofen, but it's like stronger and works better. And that was the only thing that was helping my pain without going to like opioids. So they were trying like oral ibuprofen and Tylenol, but nothing was working. So then Sunday, my pain was like so bad, and it was the worst like it had been pretty much this whole time. I was like, okay, I'll just take the oxy I mean, they're like, I mean, it might not even work as well as you want it to, and if not, then we'll try to figure something else out. But they all were like, yeah, I think you should try it. So I took it, and obviously it worked, and it was the least amount of pain that I had since Disney. And so they're like, okay, well, we'll send you home on a few of those, just enough to last you like a day or two, because the antibiotics should be working by that amount of time, and you shouldn't need it anymore anyways, because like the pain should go away. But if the pain doesn't go away or I get worse, then I'm supposed to go in again, and they have to like figure out what else to do. So I'm on the Aura antibiotic now, and I'm taking pain medicine. Yesterday was rough, and I'm not sure what was going on, but it was real rough. Once I left the hospital, I started throwing up in the car, but then we had to stop at Walgreens to get my prescriptions and drop the Oxy prescription off, but the antibiotic said it wasn't going to be covered by insurance, and so we had to go in and talk to them and be like, hey, this is the only medication I can take that will treat this without being in the hospital, which would end up costing insurance way more than just giving me the prescription. They put it through to my secondary and it covered it. But then in Walgreens, my mom was like, oh, pick out like a snack that you want, like whatever you want. And we're down by the chips. The second I see something I want, I all of a sudden get super nauseous and I start like throwing up, but not really throwing up because I can't throw up. The top of my stomach is tied, so stuff can go in, but nothing can come out. That's also why I have a G-tube. Well, that and to like hydrate me. But yeah, we just drop everything and we go out to the car. And then I like do my thing and I'm like, oh, I'm better now. Dang, I wish I grabbed those snacks that I saw. And my mom's like, you wanted those? I thought you threw up because you saw those and you hated them so much. And I'm like, oh no, those are what I wanted. It just happened to be bad timing. So when my sister went out to get the prescription we didn't pick up, she got me the things I wanted, which are these like Harvest Snaps green pea snack crisp things, just the lightly salted ones. They're so good. I love them. My mom tried them. She was not a fan, but I love them. Silas loves them. They're good. And Reagan also got me some mango bubbly, which is just like kind of like LaCroix, but I think it's better. I only like the mango one though, but it's really good. So that was nice of her. Thanks, Reagan. So that's the story of my hospital stay and what's been going on. I don't know what the throwing up stuff was about. I'm hoping I'm not having a bad reaction to the oral antibiotic. Oh, and another little life update, which kind of sucks. So Friday, the day I went into the ER, was supposed to be my first day of art class. I'm currently majoring in sociology, but I'm thinking I want to switch to art to do animation, but I'm not 100% sure. So I was like, well, I'll just take one class this semester and it'll just be an art class, and based on that, I'll decide if I want to pursue art or stick with sociology. Well, since I missed the first class, I mean, the teacher was super nice. She's like, I totally understand if you need to drop the class. You can take it another semester. But also, if you do decide to stay, I'll be happy to catch you up. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll see how this whole thing goes and figure out what's going on with me. Like, I don't think I'm going to be able to go this Friday. I have doctor's appointments and like just a bunch of stuff going on Fridays. So I think this is a sign I need to not take this class this semester, try for another semester, and we'll see what happens. So it kind of sucks, but everything happens for a reason, and I just have to follow my gut. But I was looking forward to this one class. I look like a wreck. You know what? I'm not gonna apologize for it, you know? I was just in the hospital. I think I'm gonna start trying to do a lot more with Courageous Faces, like going into their office more and helping out. So like I'm not gonna not be doing anything this semester. So that's my life update right now. Not the greatest, but also could be worse. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. All that stuff. Bye.